Welcome to Mindalia TV. We are with Daniel Odier. What you can tell us about Tantra and the tradition?
The Tantric tradition is not very well known in the West because there is this kind of Tantra that was invented by Westerners in the 60s that took the whole place, but the tradition has nothing to do with what people think Tantra is. It's a very old tradition coming from millennium away, and it's a very demanding tradition with none of all the funny, easy thing that people think Tantra is. So it's a mystical path, but not a religious part. Most of the masters of the past, all the masters of the past, were people who were involved in society, having like a normal job, normal position, teaching in the evening or at night. And the tradition is appeared in Kashmir or reappeared because there is an older layer linked to the Indus Valley, but from this tradition we don't know much. It's reappeared like 2000 years ago, more or less. And then it developed until the 4th century. Then from the 4th century it became very vivid, very interesting, with later development with Abhidharma-gupta and Vasu-gupta and these masters from the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th century.
And Tantra is the same of Shaivism?
Yes, Tantra mainly are the books. There are many Tantras, many books in the tradition, and they tell about what we practice. For example, there is the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, who tell us about all the practice we do. And this is like the most important book in the tradition.
It's a process to illumination, Tantra and Shaivism?
Yes, of course.
And it's possible to, in these societies we have nowadays, we have cars, people, confusion.
Yes, this is not really a problem. It was always there. Before there were maybe no cars and no internet, but there was a lot of violence, of war, a lot of people dying today too. But the teaching managed to cross all these historical turmoils and drama for millenniums. So we are not going to stop the Tantric tradition with our stupidity.
And a woman or a man that lives and works and have children can practice or can do the practice of Shaivism or Tantra?
Yes, of course. It's everybody can practice Zen or Vipassana or the Tantric tradition in the modern life society. There is no problem. The only thing is you have to practice, and this is what most people don't do because they have no time. But for a few passionate ones, they find the time to practice. You know, people have time to go to the restaurant, to go to the movie, to go to the party, so why not having time for practicing?
And we need many hours of the day to practice?
I would say it's taking all the time. It's a 24-hour day of practice, but very light. It's more a matter of consciousness than formal practice, to be conscious of everything that come across, you know, the sense, the mind, the emotion.
It's true that we are speak now and we can practice?
Yes. Because when you understand practice, it's not different from life. So you live and practice at the same time. It's just a matter of presence, to be totally present to whatever you do during the day. Then it's the best practice.
And how can we get this presence and do these practices all moments of our lives? It's sometimes very difficult because our mind was always thinking, and get the presence, it's sometimes difficult.
This is why it has to be rather constant light and constant. You know, the presence is coming from the breathing. So first you have to breathe, like slowly and deeply. And then the breath is silencing the mind. When the mind is silenced, then presence is there, and you can be present at this moment. Then when you are present, you are marveling about the beauty of things. So it's all starting with the breathing. So no breathing, no presence.
Nice. And I have one difficulty with my children. They are playing and they get fights, and I have the difficulty in this moment too, and I think many moms have this problem.
But when the children are playing, they do it in presence, so it's a nice teaching. They are very present to the play, so you can do the same. Sometimes they just make too much noise, but that's okay. The city is making noise too.
It's acceptance.
Yes, and the idea that nothing is against you in the practice. And so you just have to let everything flow in your practice, whatever is it.
Daniel, but when something bad happens.
Yes, this is where the practice is very useful, you know. Because bad things happens to everybody one day. So the practice will obviously help you to cope maybe a little better with the bad things happening. The only thing I think the practice is not very efficient for is love problems. Because even if you practice from 20 years, the day you are in love or you have a love relationship, it's going to be as difficult for you than for somebody who never practiced anything. So this is kind of an exception. Most of the people are going to suffer with love, even after many years of practice. But it's good to have something that you cannot master, and love is perfect for that. Nobody can master love.
I just need to see, then I cut this part. And can a woman or a man in a relationship, one of them wants to do a work spirituality, but the other no, it's possible to two peoples from different states be together?
Yes, because there are people who are naturally gifted for presence, and I know many people who never meditate, never went to a spiritual practice, but in fact in life they have more presence than many people who do. So you can live with somebody who has no spiritual practice, because life itself is a spiritual practice, and some people get it naturally, they are present naturally, and some people who do a lot of meditation don't succeed to be as present. So it doesn't matter really if people are gifted for presence. Even if they never heard about meditation, they are meditating, because presence is meditation. So if you carve wood and you do it fantastically, if you do a door and you do it fantastically, you are in meditation. And if you are not in meditation, the door will just break or will not function as well. So.
And can a person do a spiritual path? And what the feeling when we are in the path? This is the question.
The feeling is that you are tuned to the world, and things seems to be easier because you are in connection with the world, and the world looks like having a connection with you. So things are flowing much more naturally. You don't fight with the cosmos, but you flow with the cosmos. Then you are more relaxed, of course.
But imagine that we want much something. Something it's very important to us.
Yes.
And you don't get it.
Yes.
You need to go with the flow.
Yes, frustration is a good path too, And if you look behind what you want, you will find the desire for the self. You want the self. Maybe you think you want a chocolate cake, but if you go under the chocolate cake, you find the desire to be one with the cosmos. So in a way, every desire is just an image of a deeper desire to be one with everything. And when you understand that, then the frustration disappears, because you can be one with everything. But you can't have everything you want. It's difficult. But if you want all, then you can have it. And then things are not missing so much.
And why is important to the human being be in connection with the cosmos?
Because it's natural. We are connected to everything, and if you don't realize that you are connected with everything, you don't know where your action is coming from, and then you suffer. We have this idea, which is really important in the Shaivism, that everything is interconnected. So whatever you do, there are millions of causes that you will never know. They are totally unconscious, and they bring you to practice or not practice, to do something very nice or to do something terrible. And it's not your choice, it's your connection with everything. So we can never know why somebody is acting like this or like that. It's too complex, it's escaping totally the capacity of our whole being to find the source of action. Then it's rather simple. You just follow the flow, and that's it.
And why many people resist?
Because abandon is something very difficult. People are full of fear, and for most people, they don't even realize that what they know, what they want, is deeper of what they think they want. So this is why they are so frustrated after getting all the things they want in life. And they are still very frustrated because they don't realize they wanted something deeper than possession and all these things. And most of people who had a lot of possession suffer a lot. So just because they don't see the under layer of things, they just see the surface. And the surface is never going to make them happy. It will never be enough. They want more and more and more and more. And then they die. Spiritually and physically then.
But it's possible to stay all the time in a happy mode.
More or less. I mean, everybody will suffer, but I think if you practice really, you are not suffering as long because the mind is not involved. I mean, when you suffer, you take it as a physical shock, like an animal, more or less. But then you don't think about it all day and repeat the symptoms that the suffering created first time. So this is why the silence of the mind is so important, because you will suffer from the first impact on your body, but then the mind stays silent and don't tell you a story about the emotion that came to you. And when there is no story, the suffering is stopping. This is the difficult thing. Never tell a story about what's happening. Just take it very simply as a trauma for the body. Mm-hmm. The body is like an animal. He wants to get rid of all the trauma. And even beautiful things can be a trauma sometimes for the body. So the natural tendency of the body is to absorb and to let go. And the body does that very well. So you can do that with the emotion too. But as soon as your mind is taking the emotion, your mind is going to repeat this emotion for days or even for years sometimes. And then this is why some people can suffer for 10 years about one thing, because their mind is reproducing all the time the suffering. And then the body gets yes. and go back to the state of suffering.
I need to put in a way that I can see it. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. This way. But sometimes it's necessary to do some therapy, because I imagine you have a trauma in your childhood. And this repeats in their life.
Yes.
You need to do something or not.
Yes, I mean, I see it amongst my students when they do therapy parallel to the spiritual path, they all feel better. I think it's very good. I know that many spiritual teachers say that therapy is not efficient, but I don't think so. If you have a good psychotherapist, I think it can help a lot. And I mean, you know, we should work on different level, and I think it works better.
Do you believe in many lives?
No. The Tantric don't believe really in reincarnation. He thinks it's just the ego of the people who wants another life, you know. We are much more for finding freedom in this life. But in reality, nobody knows about what will happen after we die. And we are more in favor that there is nothing after. I mean, not a life that you can remember. And the funny thing is that most people I meet who had another life, they were all princess, great musician, great painter. I never met anybody who was a butcher in previous life. If I would do so, I would start to listen to it. Everybody has a very glorious past life. And when you see how they are in the present, you ask yourself, okay, they were fantastic in the previous life, and in this life it seems to be very difficult, so where is the progression, you know? And I think it gives you the dynamic to change things when you don't expect to have another life. And if it would be one, who knows, then you are like ready for the next. But if you die as an idiot, you reincarnate as an idiot. There is no quantum jump, you know. And so we have no fixed idea about it. But as so many people believe it exists, I prefer to say no, but I don't believe really in my no. Okay. I am ready to accept the other solution.
You have a master or some masters. You think it's important to do or in our journey we can do something in this path, spiritual?
I think that everything we learn it through somebody else. I mean, at any level, no, any skill. Or, so I think it's very difficult to learn something really deep without trusting another human being who seems to know what he is doing. Of course, if you are a musician, you can learn to play violin on internet with the tape. But I think it's far more interesting to learn violin with the violinist that you admire. And the stimulation will be greater, the exchange will be greater. And there is another thing which is rather marvelous, is that I think it's the only love story that never ends. When you love a master that teach you everything, even when he dies, you feel it's still there. So it's rather nice not to have a never-ending love story. It's not very often that people have this. Most love story, they end after a while, and this one never end.
But you need to have a connection with this person, especially.
Yes, of course. And you know, this is the magic. It's like bees with flowers. They don't go to every flower. They choose the flowers to produce things. So there is a question of affinity too. But not always, because sometimes you can work very well with the master, which whom you think you have no affinities, because he's just going to take you out of your safety box, you know. And sometimes the shock can be rather strong and not so pleasant, but maybe then it may move you a lot somewhere. So it's not always idyllic as a relationship. Sometimes it's rather harsh. But what is important is the effect it has on your life. Does it move you, or you just feel the same with the kind of neurotic, comfortable love for your master?
It's necessary a lot of courage.
Yes, to move on, you need a lot of courage. You know, in the tantric text, they say that in order to be a tantric, you have to be a hero. So it means it's difficult. You have to have an heroic conduct.
And what values this hero needs to have?
Authenticity, you know, determination, absence of fear, even if you have fear sometimes. But
when you have fear, what you need to do with that fear?
You have to jump. Yes.
But hurts a lot.
It may, but to stay in the same place, this is what is hurting a lot. You know? So sometimes it's better to be hurt for 3 hours than to be hurt for 30 years. This is why you need some courage and determination to jump on the thing. And depends of the determination, you know, some people, they just go to a spiritual path because they just want to be a little more relaxed. So it's okay too. Then when you are a little more relaxed, maybe you say, okay, maybe there is something deeper, and from one point you get to the next and to the next.
And if one ends?
Ends what?
If sometimes we go a final part.
What do you mean final part? Of what?
Of the different parts. You said that we go past one part, another. It's have one end someday?
Yes, with illumination it starts again.
and speaks about sexuality, because Tantra and Shaivism use very much this technique, or I don't know is the word to talk about, but to get us more courage too. And
yes, but this is the point where there is a lot of misinterpretation, because there is a sexual part in the tantric tradition, but it comes only after a very long time of meditation. It's not a means to arrive somewhere. It's something you may receive when you are already there. And many people in the West, they think about sexual technique that will bring them to a state of illumination. This is absolutely not in the tradition. Tradition is you spend years in meditating, in doing Tandava, and doing all these things, and then maybe the sexual part may come, but it's coming really at the end, not at the beginning, and it's not even sure, because for us the sexuality is to feel one with the cosmos. This is the big sexual adventure, you know. And of course, if you feel one with the cosmos, it's much easier to feel one with a human being. But if you don't feel one with the cosmos, which is a very high state of spiritual practice, then your relationship to another being will be a nice disaster, like most of the time. You know. So the idea is to start with everything, then there is transformation of what can happen with another being. But it's certainly not all this stupid sexual joke that people do under the name of Tantra. It's like they need a spiritual umbrella to fuck around. This doesn't bring you anywhere. I prefer the people who just like to make love and make love with a lot of people without any idea that it's so spiritual. I think they end up better than people who are using spirituality to express a kind of fake sexual freedom. Mm-hmm.
And it's possible that when you practice more and more, your body and your sexuality changed too?
Yes, because more present you are, more your sexuality will change, even at the beginning. If you are marveling about the beauty of things, you are going to see many beautiful things in the other person you make love with. And so there is a transformation since the beginning, where suddenly you are more there, and you see a deeper beauty in the other person, you communicate better, and of course this is going to change the love life, because there is no really a separate sexuality. It's all about love. So if you are there, the love is greater.
Fidelity, it's important.
What? Vitality?
No, fidelity.
It's not really a question we ask. Can be marvelous, or it can be boring. It depends on the connection you have with the person. But this is too a kind of cliché of the neo-tantric, that you have absolutely to make love with everybody. We don't think about this thing. We think about presence, about looking at the beauty of the other, and you know, you don't need to be a serial lover. Which is counting, it's the intensity of what you can develop. Some people are like made to develop it with only one person for a long time. It's beautiful. Some people are made to develop it with different person. We have no rules. We just want people to be there totally, and then they do whatever they want.
Shaivism is very different of another traditions because have the feminine very very present.
Yes, this is a beautiful particularity, is that in the Tantric tradition, women were always very important. Many times they were the source of the Tantric tradition, and the idea too, you see it in the painting or sculpture of Shiva Shakti. Very often they are represented as an androgyne with two sexes, one breast, or it can vary. So the idea is that the yoga is going to balance the feminine and the masculine in every person, whatever is a male or a female. And this is a beautiful idea because it's ending the war of the sexes, you know. And then a man as a woman can feel more complete. And this is a wonderful effect of the practice, I think.
But men, it's we can pause if you want. Take a pause. Thank you. Very good. Men, it's important to men see the woman like a wonderful energy.
Yes, of course.
But sometimes don't happen.
Yes, of course.
Why? The feminine,
you know,
because
because of the religion. Most religion, even one can say all the religion, they just hate the woman. So all the religion, they are against the woman. And Shaivism is a mystical path, it's not a religion. So the woman is totally great and beautiful and marvelous. So I think for women it's wonderful to have a path where they are not only considered as equal to man, but in many aspects superior to man too. So it's putting back the balance, you know, in a nice way.
Have the woman more connection or more facility?
Yes, I think more natural facilities, yes.
It's because they create life?
Yes, and because they have this sense of roundness, you know, things. It's not directive. Everything is round. And of course, when you are pregnant, you have like a whole universe developing inside your own universe. So when somebody tells you about non-duality, you know by physical experience what is non-duality, because this is the state you develop for 9 months with your child, and even after the child is born. So it's a physical experience for a woman. For most men, it's a mental experience. they don't feel it in their own body. So it's more difficult for them to imagine that they make one with the cosmos, that they are the child of the cosmos. You know, the cosmos is the womb, and they are inside the womb. For them, it's a mental operation. It may work, of course. It's happy that it may work, but it's not as natural. It's demanding quite a lot of thinking and meditative experience to feel like.
Mm-hmm. My experience tell me that when we are pregnant and then before child born, for me it's awakening because I get to a dark side of me that I don't know, and go there. It's like you need to find way out, because what you learn at this moment, it don't works anymore, you know?
Yes, and you feel suddenly like some salvage energy that you didn't know you had, and things like this, which is very precious, like the desire to kill your children, or to do things like this, or to eat them like an animal. And I think it's very important that people realize that they are not this kind of perfect spiritual thing that loves the whole planet, but that they have a very strong pulsation to do terrible things too. And unless you know that you have all this capacity and beauty or reverse, you cannot really integrate any spiritual path. It's part of the discovery.
Mm-hmm. It's possible that this experience can get us to this state that connects us with the divine.
Yes, of course. Very
good. So Daniel,
you know, the most difficult thing is to recognize the divine in yourself. This is really the things where most people stop. This is why we need to project the divine outside. This is why we created the gods, because we cannot assume the fact that we are divine. And so this is the revolution of any spiritual path. It's all the same. To stop to project the divine outside and to see it inside. And this is the most difficult thing to do.
But it's possible, and we can do it.
Of course. Otherwise, I will go fishing.
It's an excellent practice, fishing.
Yes, so. It's better than meditation for many people. Because you focus only on one thing. And you can stay focused for hours. And most of the time, people cannot get focused for more than 5 minutes. Especially the old fishing with the thing that goes down, you know, like a red thing floating and going down. So you are there and you look at the red thing and you stay like this for hours. And when the red thing goes black, you do tick and you get a fish. I think most people, instead of meditating, they just should go fishing. It's very efficient.
Yeah.
And then they have a meal, which is other nice.
If you can plant a seed in the heart of all the people in the world, in a word or in a phrase, what you would like to tell?
À l'attaque. You know, not to be so passive in front of life, but it's a great fight, you know. So too much passivity don't bring you there. So à l'attaque is nice. It's like Kali, you know. She's not waiting in her couch, watching Netflix. She's attacking the cosmos.
Go to the dreams.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
For this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you. For you, if you enjoy, please put like in this symbol. I see you here in Mindalia TV. See you soon.